We're getting ready. This is exciting, everybody. Give it up for stats. We're going to do some stats. I love stats. I got a spreadsheet. Okay, so I wanted to dive into my, 2022 to 2026 statistics as an actor when it comes to auditions. Oh, God. Preface this. These are my theatrical stats. So we can get into commercial stats in a whole other video. I doubt that the booking ratio is as high, but because there's so many more auditions, but who knows? Okay, so from 2022 to 2026, these are going to be my audition stats. And I track everything on a spreadsheet, the date of the audition, the casting director, the type of project, role type, age, and all that stuff, which is interesting. But I don't often do like a summary, and I should, because why track it if you're not going to do some stats. So from 2022 to 2026, today 2026, as of filming this video, I worked 20 gigs for those years. 5 of them were unpaid. Usually one of them was a feature that I produced and the other ones were largely like student projects. So let's go year by year and then I'm going to give you my overall booking ratio. I'm going to be looking at my notes, so I'm sorry if this is weird. In 2022, I had 66 total auditions. 12 of those I got from myself, so 54 were from my reps, agent, and manager. I got 1 callback, and I had 6 bookings. 39 of those auditions, by the way, were for TV shows. Yay! In 2023, I had 61 total auditions, so we're down by 5. 28 I got for myself. That means that 33 were from my reps. I got 6 callbacks in 2023 and 3 bookings. 19 of my auditions that year were for television. In 2024, I had 64 total auditions, so we're back up again. 19 were from myself, which means 45 were from my reps. I got 1 callback and 1 booking. 22 of the auditions I went on that year in 2024 were for television. In 2025, I got 57 total auditions. 13 were from myself, which means 44 were from my reps. 3 of them were callbacks, and I got 3 bookings. 14 of the auditions that I went for were for TV. In 2026 so far, I have had 36 total auditions. I have had 6 from myself, 30 from my reps, and 5 were callbacks, and I got 2 bookings. And 13 of my 36 auditions this year have been for TV. So my overall booking ratio for the past few years, 2022 through 2026 so far, is 5.28%. Per year, the average, I'm just going to do this from 2022 to 2025, since we're not done with 26 yet, but my average number of auditions per year is 62, which is interesting. I have bemoaned the contraction within the industry over the last several years, and certainly that is true, and these statistics only give you part of the picture, right? Now, it's good to know that I'm going out that much, but it's worth noting that in 2023, for example, half of the auditions that I went on, I got for myself, and in 2024, a third of them I got for myself. So as far as the industry auditions, yes, they did go down in those years. I've gone out for less TV overall, 39 being sort of a peak year of auditions in 2022. I got 39 TV auditions, but hasn't been that high since. My highest year after that is 2024, where I got 22 TV auditions. The other thing that I will say is if you look at just the television auditions, if you're interested in that ratio, my booking ratio for TV auditions is 3.74%. So out of every 100 auditions for television shows, I book roughly 4. I think it's interesting and important to do these statistics because it's one thing to bemoan a situation as an actor because it feels a certain way, but it's another thing entirely to actually look at numbers and go, oh, yes, this contraction I'm feeling is real. And I look at these numbers and I say, yes, the contraction I'm feeling is real, but also it's not the whole picture, because if you look at the fact that I'm still auditioning for TV at all, I come at this from a different perspective. When I started in 2010, Asian American wasn't really on the map as a minority that was being depicted in a lot of TV shows. So the fact that I'm auditioning for TV at all is an increase for me. So I feel the contraction, but I also feel great that I'm going out. I still feel this sort of, wow, this is incredible. And I also feel the shadow side of this, which is, it used to be more and it used to pay more and I wish it was more. It's easy to ignore the upside when you're feeling the contraction. And what this exercise of going through my stats has done for me is it's helped me realize I'm actually doing okay, you guys. I'm taking a lot of swings. I'm taking a lot of good swings. Now, we could do an even deeper dive in the future into how many of these were guest stars versus co-stars versus recurring guest versus series regular. I go out for less series regulars in the last couple years than I have in the previous years. it is what it is. I also am in this, I think I'm in this weird age category where I'm like too young to be like a middle-aged mom, but I'm too old to be like the young hot one, just from a casting perspective and energetically, I suppose. Yeah, so I'm aware that I'm in this kind of interesting category of age where I'm not quite in my 40s, but I'm not really in my early 30s anymore. And so I don't think the casting always has places for me. I think the other thing that these stats tell me is that my reps are getting me out and that they're trying, even in difficult times, to get me out, that they have a lot of faith in me. That is another thing that's great about tracking your statistics is you can, for example, if my manager comes to me and says, hey, I notice you're not going out for these things as much. Can you check? Yeah, I can. It's super easy. And there was a year where I was switching agencies and my manager asked me a question and I was able to go back to my spreadsheet and go, oh, wait a minute, you're right. Yeah, I'm tracking that too. Oh, let's talk about it. And it allows me to be a really good teammate. So I highly suggest that you track because things can feel so different than they actually are. But also, if things are feeling off and you have stats, you can go to your team with your stats and go, hey, I'm just tracking this. Could we have a conversation about it? Now, I've never really done that because my team is excellent and they get me out and they, I think, almost believe in me more than I believe in myself. So that's just a huge blessing and I'm really, really lucky. But I wanted to share these stats as well because I think that there's this optics around actors where it's like, if you're successful, you're booking a ton. Y'all, 5%, 4% of TV. That's not as high as you might expect, but it's high for an actor, I think. I think I'm doing pretty good. In case that was helpful to you, and again, I do really suggest that you track these things, then like take these stats to heart and know that you're doing okay out there. It's tough. It's tough. I've been on the other side, and casting is hard. And it's this massive chemistry equation between the person we're trying to cast and the people we've already cast and the tone of the thing and all these things. Even these statistics, as I look at them, I can't judge myself by them. It's not like a math problem that you get right 5% of the time. That's not what this industry is. It's art. So it's its own little special thing. So hopefully that was helpful. I have taken some really good swings this year that I feel really good about, and sometimes the quality, it means a little bit more than the quantity. And hopefully we'll see these stats, I don't know, be the same. I was going to say go up, but I'm like, listen, if they remained pretty similar, I'd be like, wow, I'm doing really, really well. So anyway, we'll talk more later. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And yeah, like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff.